Welcome back to another episode of Iniquitous News. I'm your host, Lawrence Johnson. Hope you all had a festive feeling weekend because let me tell you, some shit happened. Let's start off with the IDF. Look at this article. Look at this headline. Admits to mistakenly firing at ambulance and paramedics. How do you mistake an ambulance and paramedic? And if you remember in the beginning, they said, oh, we didn't even do that. But then they uncovered 15 bodies that were buried, tied together, and shot one by one. That's execution style, Gestapo style. Now, this would have never story would have never happened if video footage was not released. Now, this is going to be some tough stuff to watch, but you have to see this with your own two eyes to understand that Israel and IDF consistently lies.
هاي مرمي بسرعة هذا الشيء.
So those were clearly ambulances. Those were clearly paramedics trying to save and rescue people. And what happens? They get fired on. You hear the bullets flying by 5 minutes straight in the actual original video. And if this video was never uncovered, they would have just ran with that narrative. How do you mistake an ambulance? And now, what are the consequences? Does anybody go to prison, or is it just RIP to these 15 paramedics that were trying to save people and then were died and executed one by one? I mean, that's a war crime in and of itself. They're paramedics. You see them pulling up with ambulances, and the first thing you decide to do is open fire on them. Through 5 minutes, has any shots get fired back? No, because they're unarmed. So 15 unarmed paramedics were killed, and that's the headline that we get. If by now you understand that Israel has like a stranglehold and a chokehold under our news services from the UK to the US, Fox News, CNN, BBC. It doesn't matter, people. They got them all. This shit is disgusting. Now, let's just go over the timeline with what happened to these paramedics. So when this story first breaks, the IDF responds that they didn't even do it. We didn't open fire on anybody. And then more information comes out as witnesses see it and are reporting, no, we saw what happened. And then we start to discover exactly what did happen. And the IDF starts to switch up their thing. Oh, well, we thought there was terrorists inside the ambulance. Then they switch up, oh, well, they were approaching us in a violent way we didn't know. And then the video comes out and we see ambulance, we see paramedics, we see they have all the things that they need on to let it be known, I am a paramedic. And regardless, open fired and killed. So at what point in time do we draw the line and actually give consequences to IDF? Because right now, all I can see is that they get away with shooting babies, they get away with bombing people, and they get away with shooting paramedics. So what do they not get away with? Like, does anybody ever get arrested in Israel? And we're not even going to bring up the rape situation. I mean, people were protesting 2 rape prisoners. Well, hostages, but they call them prisoners. So, I mean, like, they can do anything to these people? That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's now very well known that Israelis do not look at Palestinians as people. It's more of just like, oh, they're dirt enemies. We can't wait to kill them. Whew. Unbelievable time to be living in. And I know after this, you're probably wondering, what was the White House official statement about what happened to these paramedics? Honestly, comical. They said, oh, well, Hamas was using these paramedics as human shields. So I could see the video. I don't understand. It's like they act like we don't all have phones. I just watched what happened. There was no human shields being used. They pulled up and even said, oh, they're lying everywhere. Everyone's scattered. They're dying. That's what paramedics is for. And you just open fire on them? Man, we are the United States of Israel. This shit is sad. I'm like being owned by a foreign country. This shit don't make no sense. And no, the killing does not stop there. Donald Trump, what did he do right before he left for his little golf trip? Oh, yeah, he posted this war crime. Houthis gathered in a circle, supposedly giving attack plans out, were bombed. And obviously, they responded like, actually, that was a Eid gathering, and they were all together, and that was not what was going on. And it makes you think, like, do we really think that the army of Yemen would gather in a full circle like this to discuss attack plans, knowing that the U.S. is swirling around, drones, they're watching them at all times? And in fact, he tweeted this out and then just went and played golf like it was nothing. And people, as usual, we just have to take his word for it. But it's like at some point in time, I think we're all starting to realize that Israel's just dragging us into every single war, and Iran is next. We don't want to go to war with Iran. People from America will die. Soldiers will die. Everything has been about peace. We want to get peace. Trump's for peace. Peace does not mean deploying more military back to the Middle East. And that's what's happening right now. No matter who you voted for, I don't think you want to be in war, right? I don't think you want our military people dying. That's what we're doing. And the fact that he's able to tweet out that he's killing the Houthis, they'll never sink our ship again. They never sank our ship. Yes, they shot back at our ships because obviously we bombed civilians and innocent people, so they responded. But I mean, I love America, but at the same time, two things can be true. I understand that we're bullies, and I understand that we really shouldn't be over there. What do we have ships in that trading post for anyways? Could you imagine if Russia was just shipping around the Gulf of America? We would bomb them immediately. Now, I get it. We're supposed to be a superpower, but as a superpower, you don't have to have ships, army, military everywhere around the world. Imagine if China was just outside of the bay somewhere in San Francisco. It's had a couple of ships lined up just in case. We bombing the fuck out of them. So I feel like at some point in time, you have to take this step out of being a U.S. American and be like, okay, wait a second. What are we doing to the rest of the world and why? And the reason is Israel and Netanyahu. And speaking of Netanyahu, this bastard, while all this is going on, pulls up to the U.S. and gets a red carpet. A war criminal that's wanted by the ICC, the ICJ, to be arrested and charged with crimes, pull up to the U.S. and start shaking hands and kissing babies like he was a hero. And you're going to tell me that he doesn't own the U.S.? This is President Netanyahu, basically. Whatever he says goes. And as you know, Iran is next on the list because he needs it. He needs to disarm all of the Middle East so they can keep on taking over. Ethnic cleansing after ethnic cleansing. I mean, come on now, people. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but the crazy shit is it just keeps on happening and nothing changes. So it's like, yeah, I can keep on talking about it because I have to keep on talking about it, but what can I do act-wise? Nothing. You go over there, you die. As you can see, you could be in an ambulance wearing paramedic stuff and they still shoot you. No consequences. Egregious. Even Tucker Carlson knows war with Iran is stupid and makes no sense. Tucker Carlson, I hate, bro. Me and him argue about everything all the time. I actually in person, but I'll just like see some of his shit, but that's dumb as fuck. How do you even get that type of narrative? When he start making sense, I know I'm like, oh, hold the fuck on. Me and Tucker on the same page? Oh yeah, something's gotta change immediately. But that's the point that needs to be proven. If we go to war with Iran, our soldiers will start dying. That's where I hope every single person that watches this, no matter if you agree with me or not, will draw the line of like, oh, okay, we don't need to deploy more soldiers over there. We don't want more soldiers dying. That's the last thing we want. The tariff war continues, which means the stock market absolutely got destroyed. I mean, we're talking about retaliatory tariffs. We're putting tariffs on random people. And I mean, some of them are responding. Europe has said, hey, we're trying to search for a free trade, 0 for 0. What's interesting is Elon gone. As you can see, there's no more taking pictures at the White House. He hasn't really been around. Donald Trump hasn't wanted him around. People are starting to talk shit about him. And I think we're at the point in time that he is now being pushed out. And Elon's no longer going to be a thing. Because all of a sudden, now he's not agreeing with tariffs. He's saying, oh, well, that doesn't make any sense. I think we should have free trade between Europe and the U.S. When just before we were bringing out a chainsaw saying we need to tariff everyone. Oh, Elon is cooked. Tesla's in the tank. Thank God for SpaceX, or you would be done for, my brother. But the tariff stuff, some people are trying to say he's trying to reset the market and then the Fed's going to have to cut the reserves. I mean, that all sounds good, but at the same time, if you go look at your stocks, you go look at your portfolio, we in this shit turd. And then a fake tweet comes out saying that, oh, Trump's maybe going to pause the tariffs. What happens to the stock market? 4 trillion or 2 trillion, whatever it was. A lot of money. Then it comes out that the tweet is fake. All gone again. Our stock market is basically a meme coin, just with suits attached to it. Because how does this much money get pushed in and then erased within hours? Because people aped in, put a whole bunch of money into it, and they realized it was fake. They're like, oh, let's get the fuck out. Made my little bread. I'm cool. All this shit is not real if you ask me. And tariffs are just going to continue to wage more problems for us, for other people. But you know what? maybe Trump's going to reset the whole entire Fed and everything will work out and everything's going to get cheaper. I mean, I could have dreams too, I guess. Very illogical to think that's going to be the outcome, but to each his own. China unveiled some new electric cars. I mean, the stuff they're doing is unbelievable. I mean, look at this. You're going up, down, up, down. The car's dodging shit by itself. This is what happens when you put money into, infrastructure and building your own shit. And on top of that, BYD, 50 square mile of production for new electric cars. And you have to wonder, why are we not allowed to have these in the US? Because they're more affordable, they're more efficient, and they're better. Can we just not ship them over here? I don't understand. Tesla be shipping cars over to China. Why can't they ship cars over here and let us buy stuff that's more affordable? I'm all for EV. But China, bad guys, not allowed, no way, even though everything is made in China. So how does that work? I have no fucking idea. But I know one thing. These cars, elite, doing 360s, jumping up and down, dancing. It's like, bro, China is cooking. And the propaganda is no longer, and the US now knows that. So they're trying to paint them as bad guys in some type of way, but it just doesn't add up and it doesn't work. Protests have not stopped. As you can see right here in Egypt, they're on the Rafah crossing. They are protesting to open up the crossing because they know that a genocide is happening. And to open up this crossing, that means to let more humanitarian aid in. For over a month now, there's been no food, no water, no electricity let into this place. And you're telling me a genocide is not happening? There's even people in Tel Aviv protesting what's going on. So I think most of the world is on the same page, but for whatever reason, we have this US propaganda that somehow overshadows everything. And there's a lot of people walking around the world right now that think what's going on over there is justified. It's not. It's not at all. And at some point in time, we gotta hope this ends, but right now the ending looks like it's gonna be a complete genocide and ethnic cleansing. Shitty part of history to be a part of. Not gonna lie to you. We're also now revoking visas from anybody that's from Sudan. I don't know how they just all of a sudden got grouped into this bunch of people that are not allowed here. But basically, if you're traveling to the US, I'd warn traveling here because you may get caught up at the border, put into prison, and never seen again. Because the stats that are coming back from El Salvador right now and the Venezuelan gang members we sent, over 75% of them have no criminal record. So how do we know they're in gangs? You just gotta trust the process. This is crazy shit that's happening right now, people. And I don't know how else I could put it to you logically, but the US, we are getting cooked from all angles. Hopefully shit starts heading in the right direction, but right now I'll be like, God damn. At least US television is doing well. If you didn't watch White Lotus, season finale was last night. I'm going to give away spoilers, so if you do not want to hear those spoilers, get off. But I'm not gonna lie, people, I loved the season, but at the same time, that was a lot of buildup for that last episode. They built up this story all 6 episodes for the last one for the fallout to finally happen. One thing, I am not trusting people making my milkshake no more. She was unbelievable. Bro almost died. But then the fact he just and it ended up being his own father? It's like, damn, son, you didn't think that shit through a little bit? Everybody started dying, dropping bodies left and right. Mom supposedly got millions of dollars and left the US. It's crazy how she just left dude from Thailand, didn't even say, oh yeah, I just got so much money. I am up. You should come chill with me. She was like, yeah, I'm up. I don't know what else to tell you, but I got to go. I will say, The White Lotus is an amazing show. Great writing. Love the different angles. I just wish it was it was a lot of buildup for it was fun. I love the finale, but I'm just like, man, they could have done this a little bit better, stretch the story out more. But at the end of the day, I'm still a fan. Women's National Championship was last night. Paige B was out there getting buckets and finally brought a national championship back to UConn. I ain't gonna lie, man, some of them times you'd be like, wow, I just watched a generational talent play basketball in college for the last time. That's how I felt about Caitlin Clark, too. Hopefully Juju has a speedy ASAP recovery, but to see UConn beat the brakes off of South Carolina like that, I ain't gonna lie, I felt a little bit bad for Dawn. I'm like, damn, so you getting washed. But Paige, you gotta feel good for her because she had that goal, lined it up in mind, and made it happen. Then moving on to tonight, we got Florida versus Houston. Who you got? Can't lie, man. Houston be locking up, but I think I'm going to go Gators money line because March is a great time. Now we in April. So it's all about longevity. Who's the best? Who can stay up at that level? And I think Florida just got some dogs. Houston got athletes. They do play defense. But Florida been looking like that. We'll see if I was right or wrong. Scientists bring back dire wolves. These shits have been extinct for I don't know how many thousands of years or whatever it is, but they basically used old DNA and they did some Jurassic Park type shit and brought them back. I mean, I don't know how good of a sign this is because next thing you know, it's gonna be T-Rex, we're gonna be bringing dinosaurs back and shit. But this is very cool that they could bring back a wolf and now it's just out here vibing and sliding like, oh, you're extinct, but not anymore. I don't know. That's like some groundbreaking scientist type shit, but at the same time, all it takes is one scientist that's a little bit over the top. Now, you know, we're gonna have megalodons swimming in the ocean again and shit gonna be getting taken out. I'm happy this happened. This is very cool, but let's slow our roll. Dire wolves is one thing. Don't be bringing back nothing prehistoric that's big as shit and that can eat people. And I don't wanna see no Jurassic Park island all of a sudden pop up. Land of extinction. Yeah, no thanks. And I wonder what happens like in the scientific like theory of evolution now that we're bringing back stuff that's extinct. Is this like a new era that we've just reached? I don't know, because I don't know science. But regardless, very cool. Kanye West is back in the limelight. This time he is previewing a new song on Live. I mean, absolutely vociferous title of a song, but it's like one of those things like you listen to it and you're like, wow, this song was all out of hate, but unfortunately, it is so tough. I mean, I'm not even gonna repeat what he's saying in the song, but I mean, I'm just like jigging like, that's actually kind of hard. I like the melody he found. I like the pocket he found. Will he get canceled? Almost 100%. Will this ever be released and allowed? Actually, probably yes, because he's completely independent now. Do I like to say that this is a good song? Absolutely not, because that's fucking crazy. But at the same time, it's Kanye. He cold, son. Moving on to Music Mondays, with our first hit of the day, we have Lil Durk. That album is so tough, untouchable.
You laugh, these niggas do whole shit, then blame it on being high. See me, I ride around low key. I'm a real P like ski. 2 million up like Jeezy.
Lil Durk so tough. Switch up the vibe a little bit. This is one of these bands that I don't know how I discovered. One of my little homies put me on. And after that, I was like, wait a second. This shit make me feel good. Turnover. Supernatural. So we got that whole Two Hollis type of vibe, but not by Two Hollis. There's like a new genre of music like that's evolving from SoundCloud. And this dude is called Half Alive, and son, that shit is tough. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know how he be cooking up or how they be finding them type of pockets, but I still like this shit. It's different, it's cool. I'm very open music genre-wise, if you guys have not noticed. And then another dude found him on TikTok. His transitions, son, on TikTok are crazy. It's like this animated CGI shit. I'm like, damn. Voda Fuji? Is that how you say that name? I don't know. Hopefully he finds this, he could let me know. But regardless, him, Light Green.
Light green, bells blow. I don't fear a thing, but I need you. Playing red, snow white. All night, I'll be here the whole night.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Iniquitous News. I'll see y'all back on Wednesday. Stay vociferous, iniquitous, and malfeasant at all times. You already know. Tune in, hate and subscribe, and I appreciate y'all as always. I'm out.
You've just tuned in to another edition of Iniquitous News Network with Lawrence Johnson. Don't forget to hate and subscribe.